Morning. It's another chilly Saturday here in Nova Scotia. Getting ready to do a trail run again at Spider Lake because we were in lockdown again and really can't go too far. So Spider Lake has been my savior in the past and it's going to be my savior again this lockdown, I think. I'm going to do the whole loop again, 20K. Hopefully bring some better video this time than I did last time. Alright, 45 minutes in, feeling pretty good this week. I think last week I overdid it quite a bit. My legs were feeling really great because I just kind of figured out an injury problem I've been having, so really just kept running last week and did about 70K for the week. Normally I do 35 to 45, so I just overdid it. I think that's why last Saturday while doing this run I just did not feel great, followed by my interval run that I tried to do the next day on the road. Really didn't feel good for that. So this week I cut it back, feeling a whole lot better today. Like I said, 45 minutes in, and we're looking at, let's see here, about 6 kilometers so far. Just grabbing a goo. Salted caramel is delicious. Stopping here by the brook before we cross it. Keep going. I find this is the best part of this trail, the single track. Or later on when you get on the fire roads and stuff, it's pretty boring. So now I'm kind of in an area that I kind of call Lake Major Descent. It's where the trail really starts to kind of disappear and it's hard to follow. Some down trees, just not much for a path. It can be tricky, but I find as long as you keep heading left and down, you're going to end up at Lake Major at some point, and then you've got a pretty good trail to go on from there. So I know Justin finds it's pretty tricky and scary, but it's not too bad as long as you follow what you can of the trail. And I really would have realized, if I had realized I was coming back down here this week, I would have got some marking ribbon to use out here to help guide people a bit, make it a little easier. But it's a fun part of the trail for sure. Nice descent, a little navigating to do. Alright, I made it to Lake Major. You can see kind of behind me here. From here it kind of goes from the fun single track to what I'll call wet double track. It's usually really muddy along and wet along here, but still runnable when you're not going to be jumping water. So this is a fairly fun part of the trail too. After that it turns more into service road, which gets a little boring and monotonous for the last few kilometers, but here we go on the double track. next energy stop, about an hour and a half in, 11 kilometers. Kind of working my way off what I call a double track onto whatever this is, which is kind of, I don't know, mixed between double track and service road. Still got a ways to go before I get to the service road. This part isn't too bad. It's enjoyable. You get trees around and stuff, but again, once you get to that service road, it gets pretty boring. It's kind of a slog for the last 6 or 7K. So I'm gonna enjoy my caramel macchiato goo here and keep moving. Back on the service road. Got 5 or 6K of this, which is pretty much a straight shot and pretty boring, but get you back to almost to Spider Lake Road, and you just gotta cut across by the power plant and up. So this is kind of the boring part of the trail, the part that I enjoy the least, but makes it a nice loop, so can't complain too much. Almost done. Just climbed this big hill here, kind of the last high point before we make a little descent and a little more climb back up to the top of Spider Lake Road, and that'll be the end of it for today. It's windy up here, so you probably can't hear me that well, but over here you can see the power plant, and then over there you can see the end of Spider Lake Road. Up that little path right there, and then done. Alright, 20.6K done, 2.5 hours. I managed to beat the rain, so that's pretty good. Looks like it's going to rain any second here, so glad that beat that.